Let's go ahead and convene this meeting. This is the City Council work session. It's August 6th, 2019. It is Diane's birthday, but this time I'm not going to say how old she is because I got in trouble for that last time because I learned. I'm no dummy. We have a quorum present. We can go ahead and begin. Let's begin with the briefing from the Travis County Clerk regarding the 2019 election. Looks pretty exciting.
It is. Thank you. Good morning, Mayor and council members. Sorry. Thank you so much. Good morning, Mayor and council members and my fellow clerk, Jeanette. There you are. It is so nice to be with you this morning, and thank you for the invitation to be here.
Please introduce yourself for the record.
Dana DeBeauvoir, Travis County Clerk.
Thank you.
Very nice to be with you. What I brought with you today is our new voting system. You're going to just see it here, but outside we're going to offer voting on a mock election, a mock ballot, until 1 o'clock this afternoon. So anybody in the building, anybody who sees this is welcome to come over and cast a mock ballot on our new system, see what it feels like, and we can explain exactly what you need to do in order to take advantage of our new voting system. And the first time we will use it is for this upcoming November election. So when early voting begins, first time you'll get to use our new voting system, which brings voters a paper trail. They have been asking for an auditable paper document in a voting system for a very long time, and this is finally our first opportunity to give them what they've been asking for. It is exciting, and we are thrilled with it. What I would like to show you this morning is, very briefly, when voters come to vote at the vote center or the early voting location that we have established for them, they're going to walk up to a qualification table just as they've always done. They will see a new sign-in feature. We have electronic poll books now that you saw at our last election. That process goes much more quickly than the manual sign-in process. We're now down to an average of 47 seconds per voter to sign in. Once they finish that process, then they will be given a card that looks something like this. It will have this top part, which is a combination of text and barcode already printed for them. This tells them what their ballot style is, which means they're going to get a ballot that fits their neighborhood. What they'll do is they'll come over to the voting machines. These are ballot marking devices. This is a glorified pencil. This is not a computer. It doesn't have any kind of memory stored in it at all. So it's just whatever it says on this card, is what's going to be put into the machine. So we're reading this card. You put it in according to this in the instructions with this notched corner here. Put it into the machine. They'll open it up for your ballot. The first selection they'll make is for language, English or Spanish. You'll make your way through the ballot. You'll have the opportunity to select all the way through the ballot. You can go back and forth, changing your mind. You will see a summary screen at the end that tells you the choices that you have made. That will alert you if you want to make a change. You can still go back and forth. At the end, it will tell you to print your ballot. And when you're finished printing your ballot, it will show the rest of it on a card just like this, your ballot card. This will tell you the choices that you have made on your ballot marking device. Once you print this out, voters will have a brand new job that they've not had before. And that is, we're going to ask them to voter verify their ballot card before this goes into the ballot box. So we're going to ask them to step away and make the ballot marking device available for the voter who's waiting right behind them. Make sure that all the choices on the card are what they've intended. This is what they want to cast. If it's wrong, if they've made a mistake, if they've changed their mind again, that's all fine. They just carry this card back up to the check-in desk and say, I want to make a change. We will spoil this ballot just like in any other paper ballot election, will cross their name off of this previous choice, sign them back up again, and they'll go through the process again. In Texas, you're allowed to do that 3 times. Once you get that third card, don't mess this one up. This is your last chance. But you can get 3 times to vote in Texas. And when you leave the polling place, most of the designs, most of the designs that we have for polling places, we place the ballot box close to the door. So what we want you to do is before you leave, you're going to put this ballot card in the ballot box so that it can be used for post-election audits and even for recounts after the fact. My favorite thing about this new system is that once you put this ballot card into the ballot box, and it looks like this piece of equipment over here to my left, you can put it in any way you want, including turning the card upside down if you'd like a little more privacy and you don't want the person behind you to perhaps see how you voted. Turn it upside down. This system makes an electronic copy of this paper ballot card at the point in time when you have put it into the ballot box. They are scanned. The electronic copy is created at the point in time when the ballot card is scanned. So the electronic copy is made from the paper. I love that. Both go in the ballot box at the same time. We keep the paper. We use the electronic copy to make fast and accurate results available on election night. There are a couple of other features I want to visit with you about, and then I'd like to throw it open for questions. First of all, just the idea of the paper trail. There is one specific new post-election audit that I want to develop here and then share with our neighbors in Williamson County, as well as the other 46 counties that have purchased this paper trail voting system in Texas. It's called risk limiting audits, and it is a way of going in and confirming the accuracy of the election, that the information on the ballot cards and the information in our electronic records always match, but you don't have to have a candidate with standing in order to trigger Texas law to do a recount. We don't have to go that far. On the authority of the elections administrator, you can use a risk limiting audit to go in and verify that those totals match. And we can do that every single election. We can move to a philosophy that says we're going to have evidence-based elections every single time, verify it every single time we do it, without having to have the burden placed on a losing candidate or the expense placed on them. We're moving in that direction. It'll take a couple of elections to get that developed, but that's going to be our new gold standard for the future. The cost of this system, it costs $9 million for us to purchase this system, and y'all are in the process of doing a contract to join with Travis County and all of the other jurisdictions to do a group purchase, a group support for the purchase of this system, as well as a group agreement for how we're going to operate it together in the future. I have volunteered for more than 20 years to serve as your elections administrator, and it is my honor to continue doing that job for every jurisdiction within Travis County. $9 million. And when you would look at that in comparison with 20 years ago when we all went together and purchased the last voting system, it cost $6.1 million. We are seeing an increase in the annual licensing fee that we pay, and I hope for the future that the federal government and the state government will have financing programs already in place, planned for us, so that every time we have to go through purchasing a voting system every roughly 10 to 20 years, that we already know in advance, here's what our financing mechanisms are going to be, here's what the likely costs are going to be, and it's not a surprise every 15 or 20 years that we're going to have to go through this kind of financing. Voter education. We have signed on with a contract with a local public relations firm to develop an outreach and education program for all of our 790,000 registered voters, to teach them how to use the new system, the security features that it offers them, and to make sure that everybody is comfortable when they go to vote this first time in November, but to also get them ready for the next series of elections, the primaries in March and the big presidential election in 2020. So phase one will get them ready for this November. Phase two of our outreach program will be primaries and the presidential. And the part of our outreach is to make sure on a personal level that all of our voters understand that it's very, very important. They have a new job. They are going to be asked to voter verify their ballot card to make sure that what they've chosen is actually what goes into the ballot box. I am happy to answer any questions you would like to ask about the equipment or about our deployment of it or our training programs. Why don't I stop my presentation at this point and just allow you to ask questions. The other thing I would like to make it clear too is that we're going to be here for the rest of the morning and into the afternoon for anybody who would like to go through an actual experience of voting. It's a lot of fun to do this voting system. We hope people feel very comfortable and relaxed when they're making their choices on this system. And then the idea that people would, there's been some talk that people might try to walk out with their ballot card. And while I think that that's a thing we need to worry about and think about and talk to people about, I'm less concerned about people trying to walk away with their ballot card thinking that this is a souvenir than I am voters not taking seriously their new job, and that is to make sure that they voter verify their ballot card. Okay, let me open it for questions.
Great, Dana, thank you very much. Questions? Jimmy?
So just to clarify, the Williamson County is also using this same machine, going to be rolling it out at the same time as Travis County, and the demos that you're doing today are available to any voter. You don't have to be a Travis County voter to come and try them out.
You have got it correct. Williamson County is, in fact, in the process of purchasing and implementing election systems and software, Express Vote. So we're happy that our neighbor is going to be going through the same training program as we are going through. It makes it much easier for our neighbors and our voters to the north, who often have that confusing boundary line that we've worked on for years, have the same system. So yes.
I'm very excited that I don't have to educate my district on two systems.
You're going to have just
anymore.
one to master.
That's going to be great. But they will still have to vote in their county.
Yes, we wouldn't want them to think that just because we have the same system that they can cross the county line. We still need to have them vote appropriately in their county. And we always support the idea that when it comes to the city boundary lines crossing, that we've made the best arrangements we can to support them understanding where that county line is, but we have to observe the county line.
And I want to thank you for twice now, and hopefully in the future, doing the joint Wilco-Travis Voting Center at McNeil High School, which sits on the line between the two counties very fortuitously for my constituents. So I hope to see that again in 2020.
Thank you, Council Member. Voters love it. We love it. That's been a real win for everybody.
How many lines can you do before you have to go to page 2?
I'm sorry, say again.
How many lines, how many elections, how many propositions do you do before you go to page 2?
You want to follow proper ballot best practices. The idea is that, and it depends on the font size, how much can we get on one ballot. Depending on font size, if you can blow it up or you can make it much smaller. The idea is that we want to have one race per page or 2 races per page, so it depends. You wouldn't want to cut a race in half and have half of your candidates on one page and half on the other page, unless you're in a situation where you really can't fit all of the candidates on one page and you're required to go to 2 pages. And if we're in that kind of situation, there's a flashing warning at the bottom of the page that alerts the voter, you have more candidates on the next page.
Gotcha.
It depends.
Gotcha. Thank you. Let's go ahead and have questions. I would point out to my colleagues that we have 4 presentations to make, and we have pulled a lot of items today. So as we go through these things, we should probably spend most of our time on the things that are contested, that we really need to air things out, and we should probably work through stuff just as quickly as we can. Paige and then Ann.
I'll be fast. Can you go over the rules about can you vote anywhere in your county on early voting or election day? Can you briefly run through what those rules will be like?
Yes, ma'am. During the early voting period, there are 12 days of opportunities, 5 days, and then a weekend, and then another 5 days of a 2-week period where voters can vote wherever they want during the early voting period. Most of those locations are open 7 to 7, Monday through Friday, and Saturdays on Sundays, where they're typically open noon to 6. You can go anywhere you want. We do ask for voters to take a look at the application that we call red, yellow, green, and it tells voters where those locations are that have the shortest lines. Red, yellow, green. It's on the Travis County Clerk's website. Helps direct them so that we don't pile everybody on and they have to wait in long lines. We have enough resources in the field. On Election Day, it is a very similar looking approach to voting. We'll have 160, thank you, vote centers on Election Day, distributed equitably throughout the entire county for all of the participants who are on the ballot for November. And voters can go to any one of those vote centers and cast a ballot. Each vote center has the ability for every neighborhood to be represented at that particular polling location. Again, those are open 7 to 7. They are all ADA accessible, and there should be assistance for the voter, not only for language assistance and new voting system assistance, but each of these pieces of equipment are fully ADA accessible. So if we have voters who have vision issues or mobility issues, these systems are also designed to help them too. Okay.
I just have a quick question. If we want to send out information about this, where can we best find something that's written that we can send to our constituents?
Yes. The PR firm, Han Public, is managing our education program for us. And they have designed an approach that will be, the approach is a personal one. It's not about the system, it's about the voter experience.
Well, is there a link or something you can send to us?
Yeah, I was just about to say. And
Yeah.
a lot of those pieces will be connected through the county clerk's website, so Vote Travis. To reach all of our participants for the November election and more. And there will be social media and Facebook and radio and TV ads and all kinds of things. Stay tuned for more information, but the best way to connect to all of those approaches that we have not actually seen yet because they're still in development will be through Vote Travis at the county clerk's site.
Okay, if you know, it would be helpful for us if you can send us something.
Most definitely. All of our partners will have access to all of those materials as soon as we have them.
Okay. If you can write us a blurb and send us the link, that would be great.
Yes.
Thank you.
I've been coordinating this through the city clerk. Is that the best way to make sure that as soon as I have it, I can...
Sure, that's fine.
Terrific.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
I was going to echo some of the things that Councilmember Kitchen, I look forward to helping to spread the word with the newsletter and social media, et cetera. I did just want to clarify something because we had received some questions after an article that appeared in July in the Statesman about election systems being vulnerable to software. My understanding is that we were replacing all of our machines with these new machines and that Travis County will not experience any of these vulnerabilities that were raised by that report.
That is true. It's sort of like the criticisms in that particular article about Windows 7 apply to Windows 7 if it's connected to the internet. But these systems are not connected to the internet. They're not even connected to each other. So everything that was talked about in that article does not apply to the use of this system. And we've already, as part of our contract, we're already scheduled for an upgrade. Here's the one point I would like to make about the use of any kind of operating system in these electronic and paper ballot or ballot card systems. And that is that they're different from your email system, either the one that the City of Austin uses or the one that you use at home. Those are connected to the internet, and you do want to be careful when you have those to make sure that you have an upgraded system that's patched and, carefully tended, because it's interactive all the time. That's one set of rules and ways of behaving because it's an internet-based system. These are not connected to the internet at all. So once we have an operating system that's installed in these systems, they are federally and state certified, and then it is locked down and secure, and that operating system is never touched again. We don't want the latest and greatest for elections. We don't want anybody going inside and putting patches on this. It is sealed and closed, never to be touched again. For elections, what we want is older technology, tried and true, and very predictable. The latest and greatest is for other kinds of technology that is connected to the internet. So we've got a completely different world when we're talking about elections.
Thank you. That was a helpful clarification.
All right, ready to go on to the next thing? Anna, thank you so much. It looks exciting to see. It's
Yes.
going to be fun to do this, and I think it answers a lot of questions that people
Thrilled
have.
to be with you, and we're going to get this out of your way very quickly.
Okay, and we'll let you do that.